Greetings, everybody. This is Serpentine451, and welcome back to another episode of Weeb Warriors. And joining me, as always, is my good friend Jordan. How you doing tonight, Jordan?
Hanging in there, Tony. Hanging in there.
All right. So, since it was just me last week, and Jay will not be joining us for this week in particular, I want to touch back with you on last week's episodes. What did you think of those?
Right. So last week's episodes were also solid. I don't have my synopsis written out for each of them, but let's see if I can remember. So, in no particular order, episode 4 of Tower of God, The Green April, we get to see more of some of my favorite people get in there and mix it up. And honestly, it's just a great series of fight scenes. My favorite thing has to be Anna just beasting on people with Green April, just absolutely wrecking shit, because she is just she's one of my favorite princesses. Actually, I don't dislike any of the princesses. They really redefine the word princess. If you want to be a princess out there, young female fans, be a princess of jihad. Moving right along, though. And then we set up with the teaser, not for me since I'm a reader, of the mysterious team, including, of course, Rachel. Episode 4 of My Life as a Villainess, All Roads Lead to Doom. Episode 4, I enrolled in the Magic Academy. Katarina continues to be hilarious, lovable, and steal everyone's romantic flags. Honestly, I think it's the best strategy she could have ever come up with. It's just like, you can't die from them falling in love if you make them all fall in love with you. I'm just waiting for the inevitable lesbian cat fight that this series must conclude on. Moving right along, though, to Grelpnir, episode 4, I Wish I Was Someone Else. We finally figure out what the Gatherers are, their purpose, the alien, what it all means, and get this teaser about anyone collecting 100 coins will offer them the power that they wish, enough even to destroy the world if they so desire. Honestly, this guy is completely nutty, and he doesn't have any sort of understanding about how humans act, or maybe he just doesn't care. But it definitely set the tone for the rest of the anime. Of course, our protagonists are going to be the quote-unquote heroes in this scenario and try to get the coins before the quote-unquote bad people, so that they can, I don't know, wish them all away or something like that. But we'll see.
Yep, we'll definitely see there.
Yeah, and then episode 3 of Kaguya-sama has to be the fucking funniest. We're coming into the end of term. Student council is bringing it in for the end of their term and whatnot. And everything from the stargazing on the roof, which has Kaguya broken down on every level, all the way to my boy essentially manipulating the scenario to have Kaguya confess that she would be lonely without him, was flawless. Honestly, episode 3 should just be called Miyuki's Flawless Victory and be done with it.
Definitely.
Yeah, those are
All right, and I also watched and did a small review on the Konosuba movie, which that was one of the funniest movies I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, the Konosuba movie was hilarious. Would recommend. Honestly, though, I'm a little disappointed because I wanted the villainess to join the ranks of people like Wiz and not Doulahan. But, you don't get everything you wish.
Yeah, I mean, the final fight when the 3 dead generals merged together into one entity was pretty wild. But we got to see Vanir and Wiz fight.
Yeah.
And it was pretty impressive. Wiz knows her stuff.
And that does bring us up to 5 demon lords, right?
Yeah,
That's
the
fine.
demon generals, like the demon lords generals, just got their asses destroyed by a team of four incompetent idiots.
Which really sets the tone for, are we going to see the other volumes animated?
I mean, if they're going to do it in the style of this movie, it's safe to assume that would be the case.
Right. I mean, I guess I wonder if the movie is a sign of good things or end times, because as I understand it, they're sort of coming into the last stretch, maybe the last quarter of the manga, and it's rare for like non-seasonal shonen series to get a full run in an anime once, especially if the manga is coming to an end, because the anime's purpose is to increase manga sales and
Yeah,
other merchant.
and Konosuba initially started as a light novel series, so it's safe to
Right.
assume that
That's actually what I meant, not the manga
right.
coming, because
As
manga's way
as
behind.
as long as we get the adaptations that will potentially happen, I don't see any issues with it. But as long as the series ends in a satisfactory way, I'm not going to have any problems with it. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I mean, there's so many fantasy monsters that you can play around with to make them very funny characters in this world.
Very true, very true. And actually, since we're speaking about Konosuba, I would like to bring up the other series that this same writer is has got an anime adaptation. I cannot remember his name. Tony, help me out here.
Mm.
Relive something something something. We were
Oh,
just talking.
are we talking about what the fuck?
We were literally just talking about it, Tony.
Oh,
Before we started recording. Come on now, help me out
oh,
here.
wait a minute. Princess Connect Redrive or
Yeah, that one. Princess Connect Redrive. If Jeremy was correct, they are made by the same people.
well, from what I can understand, it's also an association with Games,
Mm-hmm.
and it does fit that general art style from some of their games. If I can, if it's understandable in that way, and I mean, it's not bad. It's serviceable. Not for some, but serviceable at least for others. But I think we
Tell me how
can.
you really feel.
I mean, it's just average. I mean, it's funny at times, at least to me, but I think it's just average.
Also, Jeremy is high because they're not the same people. They're not the same people in the slightest.
Yeah, well, Jay can do a lot of
Oh no, I
stupid.
lied. I lied. They're directed by the same people.
Oh, it's the directors, not the
Yeah, yeah. It's the
creators.
director,
Right. I mean,
which is fine, I guess.
hmm
I think that I haven't read Konosuba, so I can't really say how true to form it is to between the light novels and the manga and the anime.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
the Jap.
I guess I brought it up mostly because of that relationship. But
hmm
honestly, if you like Konosuba, I would not say that you would automatically like Princess Connect Redrive. Personally, I'm not a fan. I'm gonna give it a second shot, but I dropped it after the first episode because it's very gimmicky, and I want to punch the princess directly in her face.
Yeah,
Hard.
she is pretty stupid. Gives me ammunition to for one of our game characters that I.
It's her catchphrase that she uses all the time. It makes me want to like Dempsey roll her a la Ippo. Like
Oh shit!
like I just really put your back into it. But
Just with all
we're
the
gonna move
force of
past that,
God, all the
and
force of
let's go
God.
ahead and talk about
Yeah,
episode fives and four, I suppose, for Kaguya-sama,
yeah.
since
Let's actually start with what have we been starting with? Well, we might as well start with Kaguya-sama then, since it's the one show that is that we kind of skipped on accidentally, so we should start with it first. So, episode 4 of Kaguya-sama, we are focused on these different stories. Hayasaka wants him to fall for her, Kaguya wants to be confessed to, and Miko Ino wants to set things right. So, within this batch of episodes, we are not only introduced to new characters in this segment, we also get to see an amusing competition between Hayasaka and Kaguya, because, well...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Hayasaka brought out all those tropes. She came with super hot fire. She was ready for anything. She wanted all the smoke. She was ready. And honestly, if I didn't know the circumstances up to this point, I would have fallen for it as an anime viewer.
Yeah, true. Because you got to admit, Jordan, our leading lady here is a bit of a ditz.
Yep.
I mean, being an Ojo-sama...
I mean, the only saving grace she has is that our boy Miyuki is not easily swayed.
Yeah, since these two lovebirds want to assert some form of dominance in the relationship, and they're not essentially budging, like, whoever confesses first pretty much loses. And they don't want to lose. Just very stubborn people. I mean, Hayasaka, when she puts in work, she puts in fucking work.
That she does. I honestly would have wondered, I wonder how things would have been if we had gotten some sort of like 1 month montage of her working Miyuki over and seeing how that would have played out. But it would have been a very large detraction from the general feel of the series. So I appreciate that this was more of a one-off thing.
Yeah, and honestly, Hayasaka was pushed into trying to do it in one day.
Yep.
Because Kaguya was dumb.
I imagine Kaguya has learned to respect her.
Her maid's just tenacity. I mean, in the manga right now, they've become very close friends after certain events, which I'm not going to get into. Oh, and let's not forget, like, in the second segment, where Chiho, good Lord baby Jesus, this girl wants to try to be more of an influence on our boy Miyuki. He's like, nah, I ain't gonna let you do shit. You're not writing my speeches. I want Kaguya to pretty much take care of that. And that whole snowball.
Tony, your mic's cutting out.
Oh, so I'm sorry. What I'm basically trying to say is the whole second segment with the whole school getting in a tizzy over a supposed confession when it was just over, like, campaign speeches.
Yeah, I mean, Kaguya definitely hit him with the okie doke with her answer, though. I'm pretty sure he's going to be thinking all sorts of nonsense later on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
yeah, honestly, that one was more, that was funny for comedic effect. I don't know how I would have responded in that scenario with the whole school watching, but honestly, the Miyuki route is probably like 90% likely.
Yes. Oh, and then, what do you think of Miko so far?
Oh, I think that she's a nice distraction, or I guess she's a... Before I saw the flyer, I thought that she was going to be a legitimate character to challenge Miyuki for position of president. But after I saw that flyer and I inferred what it was trying to communicate, I was like, oh no. Yeah, nah, she lost. She's lost.
Yeah, and
If anything, I'm concerned about the people that are in third or fourth place behind her because, like, what is your campaign strategy that you're worse than the girl who does that?
I mean, plus, if we want to talk about campaign flyers and the way they're presented, hers does not bode well. Just in, like, the way, like, the images that she chose, just no good, fam. No good at all. And let's not forget how much she gassed up our girl Chiho. Am I breaking
Yeah,
out?
yo, she's such a traitor, fam. 5 seconds.
Yeah, just
5 seconds.
yeah. After a whole spiel about uh with Miko saying, "Oh, she's like a prodigy. She did this shit. I want her to be my VP." Like a couple compliments, and then you just turn traitor. Like
Yo,
I see your alliances and where they lie there, Chiho or Chica.
I wasn't gonna correct you, but yeah, Chica. I mean, I never thought that she was super loyal. Not that that was a quality that was important for her character up until this moment, but she flipped so quick. It was both hilarious and disappointing.
Yeah. Well, she is another airhead character. I mean, we'll forgive her for that. Well, she did. She didn't like the campaign flyer that Miko had. She ripped that shit up real quick. But I think that's it for Kaguya-sama. Just a very solid episode. Wouldn't you agree, Jordan?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, let's go to My Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Episode 5.
Right. So, episode 5, I visited the heroine's parents' house. Katarina has her day off and decides that she is going to go to a farm on her day off with Keith, disguised as merchants so that no one will recognize them as nobility. She engages with a few farmers, gets a few seedlings, has a good old time, straight up Katarina stuff. And as they're on their way back, they're like, oh, look, a town. Keith informs her that it is Maria's hometown, so she fucking loses it and is like, oh shit, gotta go see my main bae's house. She goes into town and we learn a few things about Maria. One, she is always been considered to be exceptional, but also there is a rumor that she is the illegitimate child of a noble due to the fact that she inherited magic, which is rare for a commoner.
Right.
We then get a peek into her home life where we find that her father has left her mother, likely due to the rumors, or maybe he died. It's very unclear. But she's not a super happy woman, and but mostly she is upset by the fact that she wasn't able to comfort and protect her daughter from the rumors and stigma that came with that.
Mm-hmm.
She found, of course, given the nature of the show, there's a warm, touching moment where she realizes that her daughter has found a true friend in Katarina and has found her way to be happy again. And they reconnect mother-daughter by helping to make cookies for the pair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this...
yeah.
The beginning of the episode, Katerina, Mary, and Sophia wanted to include Maria in their day off hangout routine. Like, go to her house and see what her family life is like. But Maria, being a pure ingenue, it's like, no, I don't want to put you guys off by just coming by my place and whatnot. And everyone's like, well, we still want to come by sometime. And our girl Katarina, I mean, she is one of the most wholesome people on the planet. She just wants to befriend somebody that's like, hey, she is adorable. I want her to be my friend. That's it.
You mean she is adorable? I want her undying and absolute love to the to the neglect of any other potential romantic interest.
Pretty much, yeah. Where she's like, I don't want her to feel left out. I want her to be my friend.
Yep. Which is crazy because honestly, the strategy for avoiding death was to not be an asshole, which is honestly kind of embarrassing.
Yep, so don't be a typical rich bitch. And she already flipped that script.
Right, like I mean, I'm not concerned. I don't think she has too much to be concerned with as far as the Doom track is considered. But now the entire story for me has personally flipped on its head, and I want to see how the hell she's going to get out of this love insided parallelogram.
Yeah, it's
Or
just,
polygon.
it's a love shape.
Right, because I don't even know how many suitors she has anymore.
Yeah, and we just get, yeah, she has, the four dudes just already charmed.
I mean, can we really count Keith? I mean, let's be straight up. That is her adoptive brother.
Yeah, she doesn't
I
want to
don't.
consider that. I mean, he's like, oh, I love my big sister.
Yeah, he loves her. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, anime, right? What are we
And,
gonna do?
yeah. And, I mean, she can't go wrong with, princes and a prime minister's son, so.
Right. Honestly, her best bet is probably just to stick with her fiance and call it good.
Mm-hmm. And then, we have her friends that in their minds like, hey, I'm only gonna spend time with Katarina. Just back the fuck off. But at
Damn,
least,
I'm dead. The fact that she really messed up Homeboy's engagement with Mary by making her in love with her instead of him was just like,
oh,
okay,
but in
well,
turn, Ellen is in love with her as well. So
right. I mean, that's some logic right there.
yeah, that there is some nonsense. That's why I pretty much love this series. It's
Yeah, I'm,
because
I'm enjoying it way more than I initially considered, Tony. I'm glad that I finally listened to you for once.
I mean, every once in a while I have a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned since you burned out your good idea on this anime recommendation, how our role playing session's going to play out tomorrow, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, well, there's some. Well, it depends on how awake I am, or how. Uh, there's a lot of outside factors that need to be taken into play. But still, this series has a lovable protagonist. That's why I just want to recommend it. It's a protagonist that isn't as stereotypical as the premise likes to present.
Yeah, it's definitely a refreshing take. I put this on the same scale as A Sentence of a Bookworm as far as fresh takes on the reincarnation game. I don't think it's a surprise that both of them are female protagonists, since male protagonists often get drawn into the same sort of generic ass tropes.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And I think we'll continue to talk about this for the entire run of this anime adaptation, but we just can't help but just really love our leading lady.
Right?
Just good
She's
character, good,
quite.
just wholesome. And the art style just really follows through with the, at least the cover art for the light novels and the manga art. And it's,
Yeah, I haven't looked for a point of comparison, but I'll take your word for it.
yeah, as a manga reader, because I don't have the light novels on hand. I can only find Kindle versions through Amazon and whatnot. But what I can say is that everything is being adapted just pretty much shot for shot. And it's really getting me reared up for what's happening in the third volume right now.
So we've been through 2 volumes already. That's impressive.
Well, we're in the crux of the third volume. Like, there's a point. There's a point that I'm thinking the anime is going to end on that pretty much ends within the last few chapters of the third volume of the manga adaptation.
How many volumes are done?
Uh, since the manga's still running, at least 4 volumes. But the fourth volume won't come out until October. And the light novel itself is about, I would say, at least 8 volumes now. If I have to hazard a guess.
Okay, cool.
But still, everything's... Oh my fucking god, that is wonderful. For those of you who are listening in, Jordan just posted an image here. Jordan, describe the image to our folks at home.
Right. So there's a few layers to this, but the core of it is that we have Miyuki and I can't think of his name. Either way, we have the male
Ishigami
components of the student council of Kaguya-sama Love is War talking to each other, saying, "Look, President, they are the pioneers of gender equality in anime. We call them the Big Three." Then we have Seiya Ryugen from Overly Cautious Hero, Kazuma from don't tell me, from Konosuba, and Kojima Toma from to our Matsuno Index and Tomorrow Matsuno Railgun. And it's I mean, I can't even explain the humor to you because it would be, if you'd have to watch these series to truly understand.
Oh yes,
but,
definitely.
I definitely recommend all 3 of them because they're great, but I would not call them I wouldn't call them the pioneers of gender equality.
I mean, these are the type of dudes that will just drop kick anyone. I mean,
Toma especially does way more than drop kick.
Yep, very true.
He believes in equal rights and lefts.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true.
But we're moving past him.
Right,
so that is that for Villainous. Gropnir or Tower of God next?
Let's go with Tower of God. Because...
Right. So, Tower of God, Episode 5, The Crown's Fate. Ooh, buddy boy, when I tell you, one, for those who didn't know, that blue triangle on Kun's head, yes, is in fact a bandana. I know it didn't seem that way up until this exact moment in time. In fact, even I forgot that it was that way. But
I just wasn't sure what the fuck it was.
Yeah, there we are. Honestly, when I first read the manhwa, I thought it was just, typical manhwa stuff where he just has a streak of blue hair, and then when he takes it off and ties it up, I'm like, well, shit. We get to see his bottomless multiplying bag that's also somehow sword resistant because it's broken as shit. Duplicate a bunch of crowns and just throw the entire crown game into the fucking garbage. Just essentially clean sweeps the competition through shrewd manipulation and pitting people against each other. Yeah. And as the tables begin to turn, Rachel and her group step out and begin to protect Bam. Uh,
Yeah, because we have like this one bitch that decided to just wreck shop with folks.
oh, she's one of my favorite characters. I can't wait for her to get more developed. Oh yeah, fam, she's coming back. She's not a side character at all. But when Bam became Sensued, I don't remember that happening, but it's been so very long. All that matters is that we're about to see Bam start fucking it up. And he's quite ridiculous, y'all.
I mean,
Of all of the broken superheroes I've ever read, Bam is my favorite by far, by leagues. Okay, maybe he's my second favorite, right behind Homeboy from Solo Leveling, but it's a very small gap, very small.
oh my god. Because the weird, like that one moment where, that one, like, bow staff club wielding bitch with the, multiple eye mask, when
Yeah.
she knocked him on the head, I was like, fuck.
Yeah. She learned to regret that.
Mm-hmm. And so the subtle, like, mind games that the administrator and our, the guy who ran the crown game in the first place. You know, that conversation between those two characters over instant coffee?
Yeah.
With the administrator saying, yeah, we need to get rid of individuals that can pose a threat to the tower.
Yep, that'll work out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's secretly what the next episode is going to be about. Bam's going to be escorted gently out of the tower and asked never to return.
Nah.
End of series.
Nah.
But actually, the next arc is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to get to the very. See, the problem is that if they do what I think they're going to do with Tower of God, they're going to end the series at the end of the first major arc. And if there's not a season 2, people are going to be so butthurt.
Well, there's always going to be butthurt people, Jordan.
No, Tony, like, have you read Tower of God?
No, but I will eventually.
You can't understand the levels of hurt that your butt will have.
Well, if...
We're talking 5 rounds of a homosexual orgy, no lube kind of butthurt.
Oh,
you
God. Oh, God.
But, I shouldn't have used that example. That was wrong. And 2, it's not that serious. But it is quite ridiculous.
Well, if it's all about the nonsense, then yeah, I can understand at least that part. But still, as someone who is not familiar with the source material, it just seems like Rachel is really dogging our boy Bam here.
I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing about nothing because I want you to enjoy it unadulterated. In fact, let's go ahead and transition to Grelfnir.
All right, but still, the episode for Tower of God was solid. I will say that at least.
Yes, it was very solid. I'm very excited for the next episode to drop. The events that come up next are really give some nice flavor to the world of Tower of God, which make it very unique compared to, well, really anything else.
Mm-hmm. So, Glipnir, this particular...
Right, episode 5, Crazy Enemies. Well, this shit was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, fucking on the nose. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, we actually start the episode with just a rando just walking through the woods looking for the coins. And we're introduced to these symbols that this one crazy fuck who can turn into a gorilla of some kind, said, "Yep, you're in my woods now, bitch. You're on my turf, and you're dead."
Homeboy is in desperate need of Christ.
Yes, I agree.
And also, I'm gonna need people to have better wishes before they come out into the woods looking for trying to gather. Homegirl got hairy arms. This dude a full ass gorilla, and then my boy is a black demon with two blade arms. So y'all clearly need to think more closely about what the wishes are that you want instead of these little petty things, because you gonna end up having a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're just being very basic, whereas these motherfuckers just come up with weird shit.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to know the power. I don't want to know the wishes of a lot of these people, because as I see their monster forms, I'm just
Yep, you are fucked in the head.
like you're in need of Jesus. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Desperate need of Jesus. But also the fight scene between our bladed muscle man and our two leads was a very fun time.
Oh yeah. That fight was oddly intense for it to be as calm as it was.
Yeah. Because throughout the entire episode, before he gave out his name, I gave our bladed muscle man a different nickname. I called him Questions. Because that's all that he was asking. Questions.
Yeah, I mean, he was asking them and answering them. When he stopped the bullet with his arm, I was like, oh, so bullets just mean nothing to you. That's interesting.
Yeah. He's like, oh.
But that does bring up a good point about the nature of the monster's transformation and the wishes that need to be granted. Now, Shuichi didn't have he had his transformation thrust upon him, so we're not immediately aware of what his wish was. But the fact that he can be entered physically and he has that gun really makes you wonder, what the fuck was Suichi wishing for? That gun is stupidly strong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we can also take into consideration that Claire's sister was technically the one that made the wish.
Well, as we saw with the drink, it's not so. No one can make the wish for you. They can only purchase the alien mutagen, which grants the wish of the individual who consumes it.
Right. I almost forgot.
I mean, we definitely thought that at the end of episode 1, episode 2, but then it became very apparent that this was Suichi's wish.
Yeah, I am not sure what he was initially wishing for then. Good Lord, baby Jesus.
Yeah. It makes you wonder what was going on in your own head sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you gotta be careful. Be careful out there, Tony. You be wishing that people be quiet and then end up turning into some sort of weird mouthless monster thing that can make people's skin on their face fuse together. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to me, but it did.
Well, let's just be thankful that I'm not in the world of Glitnir, because if I grabbed one of those coins, gave it to the alien, and I was pissed off at something, you'll be seeing some fuck shit.
Yeah, as I told Jeremy when we were talking about what people would do if they got like superpowers, you'd be a smooth anti-villain immediately.
Yeah, we had this conversation, and I don't disagree with you in a lot of ways.
That would just be it for you. It's like you would be well-intentioned but evil.
Yep. I will try my best to help people, but then I'll have my moments where like, yeah, well, fuck people. I don't give a shit.
Yup. 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 But moving right along, yeah. So for Grupnir, our main characters go up into the mountains where the majority of the coins are supposed to be located, and I believe this is where we're actually going to see the bulk of the rest of the series. It seems to be that there's some sort of complex hierarchy and or maybe gang territory sort of deal going on with the gatherers, where they're trying to either enslave individuals to help them gather more coins or killing them if they don't agree. And personally, I'm all here for it. Turn the whole damn mountainside into a goddamn battle royale. Let's see it.
Yeah, and that's just from what we can infer with the encounter of our gorilla friend who is in desperate need of Jesus.
Yeah. And also the goblin, the massive goblin-headed guy who got bisected because he's weak.
And just a
I'm
creep.
assuming just a pervert.
Yep.
Like, his entire monster form doesn't give me any indication as to what it is he wants to do, beyond the fact that he has a very large tongue, which leads me to think that he wants to do bad things to people.
Just with that tongue in particular. And he was in league with our gorilla friend, so...
Right?
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how cavalier Claire's just rifling through this dude's blood and guts to get his phone?
Oh yeah, she's just like, yep, I'm going to be sifting through this, and let's see what we got here.
Also, I enjoy panty shots as much as the next guy, but why doesn't Claire just have like a bathing suit or something? It doesn't seem efficient.
Yeah, what happened to the swimsuit that she had in a previous episode?
The author said it's not sexy enough. We're gonna cut it, or the director or somebody. Somebody made these decisions down the line.
Like the animator's like,
life for living. But I mean, I don't know about you, man. But if I regularly had to climb into something that was hot and or slimy, I'm gonna be wearing a swimsuit.
Yeah, that's my go-to if I were to decide to get into anything that's hot and stuffy like a mascot costume, whether its insides be fabric or flesh.
But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the weirdo here.
Well, maybe we're both weirdos because I would like to be comfortable in a swimsuit rather than just be in my underwear. I guess we're the only fucked ones, Jordan.
Hey, man. It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. But I think our new ally is a very interesting character in his own way. I mean, he's that archetypal character where he's a man's man that just wants to fight honorably or test his strength. I mean, that one move he pulled off that created a dent in the earth. That's some fuck shit.
The crazy thing about it is that he does that, and he's just like, needs focus, needs accuracy. I should work on that. I'm like, my dude, you don't need to work on shit. Fuck you mean?
Like,
who do you expect to fight?
Fam, you're a big horned Skeletor-looking motherfucker with blade arms. What more do you want?
I'm just trying to figure out what sort of wishes does he think people are out here wishing for? Like, Nani?
He's like, the fuck?
You expect someone to be like, I wish I was God?
It's like, I wish to be like, Seiya? And just wreck shit?
I just don't know.
Well, honestly, I don't know either. Oh, and apparently, according to our new friend, Suichi is a true man.
I mean, he at least thought about Claire when he was risking his life, so I guess I gotta give him that.
Mm-hmm. But we can't go wrong with our main character here. I mean, he's a decent dude in his own way. I mean, somehow he did survive getting his head ripped off.
Yeah, luckily Claire's sister's out here giving out coins like it's candy.
Mm-hmm. But since we kind of did a small soapbox at the beginning of the episode, I think we'll end it here. So, guys, make sure you just check out this episode. I know it's longer than last week's episode because, well, it was just me and I was just firing through things like there was like it was no one's business. And plus, it's a lot more fun to review these shows with company. Wouldn't you agree, Jordan?
Yep, yep.
All right. So, we will see you guys next week with more reviews. And, just as an update, Jordan, it's just something I need to catch up on, but I'll bring it to your attention anyway. We have a new movie out now for another series.
Which one?
ReZero.
Really? How is it?
I have yet to see it, but I will take a look at it and I'll let you know if I recommend it or not.
Okay, awesome.
But
keep me posted.
Yep, I will make sure to bring that to your attention. But anyway, folks, we'll catch you next time.